Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group, Chapter 1. We are a group of vendors who are here to help each other and to assist restaurants who might have a question or an issue that they need to get solved. We are here to help, and we have a combined knowledge base of hundreds of years. So if we can't do it, we know somebody who can. And if you'd like to reach out to us, give us a call at 561-620-8888, or go on our website at trnusa.com, and you can look at our videos, which we have over 250 now on YouTube, and the page there is Today's Restaurant. So I thank you all for coming. We're a little light today. I expected several new people to show up today, and as usual,
they come late. It could still happen. They did in the last meeting, so.
All right. Well, for the benefit, hopefully for those who may be watching, Rob, I gave you a number to somebody, our newest member from California.
Oh, thank you.
And he's interested to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I was expecting another company from California, a food company, to be on this morning, but I don't see him. Anyway, I know we all know what each other does, but let's do the intros for the benefit of those who may be watching new. So, Chris Rodriguez, you want to give us a start?
Sure, Kevin, chime in when ready. And apologize, we had Lisa teed up to join. We wanted to introduce our new team member, but apparently she's having conflict or something. Anyway, so we're strategic supply chain partners. We function as an outsourced purchasing department for our clients. We negotiate improved or enhanced distribution agreements. We can RFP their distribution to other suppliers. We go manufacturer direct to consolidate purchasing where applicable and get deviated pricing on their behalf. We put programs together for small wares, large equipment packages. We have relationships with credit card companies. We do trash removal, just about anything on a P&L that's not labor related or occupancy labor related or advertising and marketing. We're able to handle. Typically, we're saving on the low end about 7%. On the high end, we have clients we're saving as much as 15%. And I know that sounds absurd to all of y'all, but the fact of the matter is people do not know typically what is in their agreement, what they're paying for, what that agreement could or should be, with the right people putting their eyes on it. And then we also have the benefit of seeing what people are paying across the country. And we can easily spot when somebody has a price on a particular item or a category that's out of line with what we know our other clients are paying. So we are able to leverage all of that for the small to mid-market restaurant guys that typically can't afford a high caliber purchasing department, and bring really world-class experience to these small companies. So again, strategic supply chain partners, all our contact information gets posted at the end of the meeting, so we don't need to go through that. Kevin, anything you want to add on that real quick?
That was perfect, Chris. Thank you.
Okay. You want to give us a phone number for people to call you?
Kevin, give them your number. You're in Florida.
I would love to. 407-497-9495. And you can look us up at www.ssc.partners.
Okay, thank you. John McCabe, good morning.
Morning, everyone. Hope you had a good week. I'm John McCabe. I'm with Carpet Johnny. We're a large manufacturer of ice cream, gelato, and pastry equipment. We also distribute ESA display cases, and we worldwide. Basically, I work with certain companies, anywhere from entrepreneurs to chains to develop frozen dessert programs, which can be very profitable for restaurants. I am available anytime to meet with anyone's interested. My number is 401-368-6406. Have a great day.
Okay. Randy, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Randy Pumputis here with Heartland Payroll. We are the brand new strategic partner of the United Franchise Group, which includes 2 quick serve restaurant franchises. The one is Great Greek Mediterranean. You're going to see those growing throughout the country, especially in the Florida marketplace. And Gray's Craze, which is a new concept, existing concept in charcuterie boards. And again, they're going to have a large presence in Florida, so they will benefit from using our networking group, which I will share beginning this Wednesday. Heartland Payroll, we do everything from startups, including franchises, acquisitions, existing multi-ID clients. Big play right now is in our applicant tracking and onboarding in order for employers to earn work opportunity tax credits. So if you are interested, please contact me, 585-622-2993. Thank you.
You remember, there was a gentleman who was on one of our meetings, I think, sometime toward the middle of last year. He was making cutting boards. I don't know if you guys remember him. I got to get in touch with him for you. Maybe that charcuterie company needs a new resource.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard, real quick, if I can interrupt. So LPL iPhone over here is actually Lisa Lee, our new partner.
Uh-huh.
If,
I was
Lisa, you
just
want
going to
to add?
ask. You want to, if we can't see who the person is.
Yeah, I know. Her video showed up briefly and now she's muted. I'm not sure if she's hearing us or not.
Sure.
Anyway, keep going. If she pops back in, we'll try to
She's on mute.
Yeah.
All right. TRN Terry, good morning.
Wait, who's on mute?
Go. Terry.
Lisa Lee.
Here.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone knows what I do. But what I wanted to say is, as I was driving around trying to find gas, frantic because I was down a quarter, then all I saw were people like trying to get into line, problems, people fighting, arguing. I was here first. So I got out of line, started driving through shopping centers, and every place that had a place that had closed had another restaurant and another banner in the window coming in. So those are on my phone, which I need to take off and get onto the sheets, which we're working on now for the lead reports. If anybody wants a sample of those reports, all you have to do is email me, call me at 561-620-8888. I'm happy to send you one. I did send someone in this group an actual recent report because their company is going to take the report. So I thought that they deserved the actual report with the emails and the phone numbers so you could see the value. Every report monthly is an Excel spreadsheet. You can sort it any way you like by zip code. I have salespeople in Cisco, in Gordon that take, and Cheney Brothers that take their own sections from the country and they divide them and they give them to each of the salespeople that use them. So that is also a really good option to get some additional business. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Any questions? Just ask. Email me, call me, ask. I'm always here. Usually.
You
Thank
look all dolled up today. Did you do something
I
different?
do. No.
Yeah.
I actually just put my hair back, but thank you.
That's what it
You're making my life difficult.
is. Why don't you compliment her more?
I do all the time.
Oh, no. Everybody, you know what? It's in and out. It's in and out. It's the inside that counts. And look, I can talk to somebody for 5 minutes and tell you what kind of a person they are. It's a gift, honestly. But thank you very much, Rob.
All right, let's stay with the Terrys, as long as I'm in trouble already. So, Terry Lena, good morning.
Good morning. Well, I'm the opposite today. My husband decided, hey, let's take a bike ride this morning. And I'm like, oh, great. Even though I'm, working and leaving for Seattle in the morning. So I'm like, yeah, just got to keep the husbands happy, right?
No.
What I do is I work for Workwear Outfitters, and we manufacture multiple lines of apparel, from an apron to a jacket, front of the house, back of the house, maintenance, you name it, we have it. We even have footwear. We are the solution anytime you're looking to outfit your employees. You can reach me at 720-244-4972 or terry.lena@wwof.com. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. John Marinak, good morning.
Good morning. Remind me to tell you my joke after we get off this call about the compliment. Anyway, my name is John Marinak. We're Marinak Food Service Consultants. We design restaurants, and if you ever need a restaurant designed, we're the people to call. We have no affiliation with any kind of manufacturers or anything like that. So when we do a restaurant design, we do it for you, and we're not a dealer, anything like that. So we do the restaurant design just for what you need. 954-817-1183. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Rob Smith, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Rob Smith, and I solve the labor shortage for small to mid. Easy for you to say. I solve the labor shortage for small to mid-size quick service restaurants by filling those hard to fill positions for cashiers with self-ordering kiosks like the one you see behind me. Self-ordering kiosks never call in sick. They never ask for a vacation. They don't need training. They never ask for company benefits except for a little bit of electricity. And they upsell on every single transaction and are fully trustworthy. I can be reached at 561-609-6405 or rsmith@touchsuite.com.
Okay.
Can I ask you a quick question, Rob? I'm sorry.
Sure.
While it's on my mind, I was going to ask him last week and I forgot. Are you at all in any of the food halls, those big major food halls that are coming in?
We do have Grubber has installations all across the country. We're in SoFi Stadium. We're in lots of places where there are multiple restaurant concepts in one kiosk. So I think there's a food hall that I just did a couple of weeks ago, but it's not in Florida. Are you talking about here in Florida?
Well, I've got 3 big ones coming into Florida.
Into Florida?
They're already, huh?
We do that. Yep. For
All
sure.
right,
But
I'll send you those in a separate email because they're just getting started.
okay.
And I think it would be something that, you have to go up, and I've been to them, and you do have to use
Select
yeah. So I think
Right.
it would be good. All right. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
I just want to make sure that we're clear on this group, because we're all on Zoom. We are national now, basically. We're not, a lot of us are based here in Florida, but we're not Florida oriented. Our publication is national now. So if there's something going on in Pittsburgh that you can benefit from, that's the news that we try to bring to you. Some people are limited to areas, like our next speaker. He works primarily in Florida, right, Peter? He's working hard. He's not even here. Peter, are you there?
You know what? I want to thank you for insulting me in the public arena, first of all.
But we're loaded with
That's-
ammunition.
It's so
No.
easy.
See, just listen, I'm listening on my phone. I'm driving around. I would not miss one of these for the whole world. It's nice to hear everybody, and I look forward to hanging up on Mr. Appel when I speak to him later. I am a business broker. Nobody needs a business broker. No one needs one. Nobody. However, selling a business is really difficult, really filled with problems. And I will suggest to you that selling a business, things fall apart anywhere between 300 to 600 times between the meeting of all the parties and everything else. I'm hoping I'm still there.
You're
Am I
here.
still on?
Yeah, you're
All
here.
right.
Keep going.
Anyway, if anybody would like to have a discussion with me about selling their business, and don't do it by yourself. This is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do in your life. My number is 561-445-8198. I work throughout the state of Florida. I'm a licensed real estate agent also. So if your business is associated with a building, I'm legally able to do it. If you have a real estate license and you refer me a business or property to sell, I will pay a commission. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. And again, you don't need a business broker, but boy, I would not walk the process by yourself.
Point taken. Let's see. Who am I missing? Todd, are you here?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, good. Hi, everybody. Bunch of shining faces. It's good to see. Name is Todd Disner. I guess the top claim to fame is I had 5 restaurants that I developed at different style. One, of course, I think everybody knows, was Quiznos Subs. I started that in Denver in 1981 and grew it up to 27 stores and sold it. And the rest is history. They moved up to about 5,000. Now they're having issues because they're like a lot of the restaurants are slowing up a little bit. But I had a barbecue restaurant, what I call a high-end barbecue restaurant. I had elk and duck, and it was beautiful. Had it decorated with one of my tenants who was in the antique business. And I had a food court with 6 vendors under one roof. The gentleman here in the ice cream business probably knows of the Cold Delight company of refrigeration. We put a Cold Delight booth in there and introduced gelato to Denver back in whatever it was, 1980, whatever the heck it was back there. It was a terrific hit. Beautiful, beautiful product, beautiful cases, and had a bar, which was a very popular bar. And what I'm doing now, I'm offering my services, of course, because I can't get the heck this restaurant thing out of my bloodstream. You know, it's a plague almost. And gentleman with the Greek concept, there one just opened on in Miami Beach here, and I see that's going to grow. But I've got a patent applied for these little dining disposable utensils. I call them gripsies. You hook them together and you can grab the food. If your hands are dirty or their items too hot, you can grab it and eat it. And it also carves the food and makes a tong. So the customer is likely to take them home. So it's not and find up in the creek, you know, somewhere. So you're going to appeal to the green element. They also can be engraved to endear them to your restaurant, as it creates the top of the mind awareness. When they open their utensil drawer, they'll see your logo in there. We even can bring them back for 10% off your next item, so they become free in the business builder and a kind of a unique advertising gimmick to keep your brand at the top of people's mind when they make a food decision, where they're going to eat, what they're going to eat. They also pay for themselves many times over. I don't know, most of us on the call here that run restaurants understand the cost of napkins. If I can save 1 or 2 or 3 napkins per meal, they've actually paid themselves. If you looked at the price of napkins, I remember at Quiznos, I don't know, it was like 3.8% of the gross was disposable. So if I could take a point or two off of that, you can put that on your bottom line and have people collect these. Like in the old days, they used to collect matches, and now they collect toothpicks. Nobody smokes anymore, but these can be valuable at picnics, birthdays. You can engrave logos on there. You can put birthday cakes and Mickey Mouse's face on there if need be, and you'll never lose a customer. There's nothing that they can improve upon this item. So you got a customer for life, which is very, very hard to say, especially because most businesses are so involved in reducing attrition. They don't want to lose their customers. It costs a lot of money to get a new customer. You can ask, AT&T is like what, $400 to replace a customer. So I think with these items being under patent, that they're going to be in people's homes, and they'll collect them for their picnics and their kids' birthday parties and camping and so on and so forth, to create sanitation eating if your hands are dirty, or you can even use them in medical laboratories, etc. So
well, hopefully you'll get your video operating so that we can see it down the road.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's it. And I'm awaiting phone calls. I'm into a partner agreement or some kind of licensing that we can license the manufacturing to. So I'll stand by.
Okay. Dave McCall, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry about that. Good morning, Dave McAllister with BSG. We are a global equipment manufacturer in the UV technology. We make equipment that cleans, purifies, and deodorizes your equipment in your building or your air. So we've been around since for over 20 years. You can see our equipment in Chick-fil-A. We're 100% saturated in that brand, as well as Subway. We're big into our ice machine cleaning device will typically save a customer a couple $1,000s a year per ice machine per year. So there's a significant return on investment. It's a good money saver, and it does work 24/7, 365, no labor. So we save labor too. So anyway, good to meet all you see all today, and you can reach me, Dave McAllister at dmcallister@bsg-uv.com or 904-831-4945. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Is LPL iPhone on board?
I am. Hi.
Oh, okay. Good. Welcome here.
Howard,
Welcome.
this is Lisa, our new partner. Lisa, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Lee, and I was invited to the call because I keep hearing my team talk about you guys, and I was just like, can someone share with me what all these guys do? And they're like, try to hop on the call. I recently joined their team, and basically I come from food distribution background, and here to learn more about what you guys do and how you guys work together.
Well, if you could, Lisa, send me an email with your contact information.
Sure.
It's howard@trnusa.com, because at the end of this meeting, I will prepare a spreadsheet with everybody's contact information so that you will have it at the end of the meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
You're with a good group of guys.
I know.
For sure.
I worked with them when I was at US Food, so I've known several of them for a couple of years, and yes, they are a great group of guys.
Okay. Did I miss anybody, or anybody have anything else they want to say? Okay. I was reading an article during the week that was prepared by a company called Chap. I don't know where they are or who they are, but they came out with this article. And I think we talked about this a while ago, but based on the economy and based on supply shortages and rising prices, inflation, et cetera, they wrote an article about how best to increase prices if you have to. So it's not just, we're raising prices. There's a way to do it to not anger your customers and lose customers. You want to bring them along slowly. So I'm going to do my David Letterman top 10, but it's only 5. So I'll jump in if you have anything to say on each one as I do it. And the first one is don't beat around the bush, which basically is if you have to do it, do it clearly, openly, honestly, and state the price increase. Number 2 is justify the price increase. Here we have to say that, if you're a restaurant, you could say that the price of XYZ has gone up exponentially and you have to cover the cost. It's just explain why it is. And this one, I think Chris had made a comment months ago. This one says, increase prices gradually.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I think you
You
did
did.
say that, right? You mentioned menu on a menu to increase certain prices, and then over time include them all, if you needed it.
Yeah, well, finish your list because I've already got some comments.
Okay, I figured bundle your products or services. So in other words, if you're making hamburgers and you sell hamburgers separately and you have fries as well or onion rings, put together a package and bundle it. And that's basically I'm going to say 4 that we had that we can talk about. So what was your comments, Chris?
Well, I guess the first is a question more than a comment. This sounds like more than how to position it, maybe from a marketing or a social media standpoint, as opposed to simply raising prices in a menu. So I want to kind of clarify what I guess the backdrop was for this article. Because if I'm just putting it in a menu, I'm not putting anything in a menu saying we raise prices because of this, that, or the other thing. But if I'm trying to justify what I'm doing on social media, maybe some of the first couple of comments make sense. But the idea that
well, I guess if you raise your prices in a restaurant and one of your good customers came up to you and said, what happened? The hamburger used to be $5.95 and now it's $9.95.
okay, so
you have to have an answer.
Talking points for your employees to discuss it with customers. And I have probably a really negative bias here. I'm a restaurant guy. I come from a chain background. I've been, C-suite, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It drives me nuts that people go to the grocery store and complain that the price of eggs are up to $7.49, for a dozen eggs if they're, free range, organic, blah, 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 blah. But when you go to a restaurant, they can't understand that the same stuff they're seeing at the grocery store obviously is happening in a restaurant too. Last year, chicken went up 16.7%. Chicken doubled from 2 years ago last year. So, how are restaurants supposed to survive if you don't raise your prices? But so certainly giving the staff talking points or maybe some, things you want to post on social media is great, but strategically, so that you're not clubbing people over the head, the best, and this was a consultant I worked with 2 different companies I ran. They did several things. One of them was understanding how you lay things out on your menu. And the way people read menus is a Z pattern your eye follows. There are places you want to highlight items, and there are places you want to bury items if necessary. But the other part of their strategy is you don't take a big giant price increase all at one time. inflation happens gradually, and you should take your prices up gradually and inconspicuously. So their philosophy was about a quarter of the menu once a quarter. Also, one of their recommendations was, within an inflationary period, occasionally there are things that may go down in price. So every once in a while, drop a price on items where it makes sense to do so because that particular item has gone down to offset some of the other price increases that they're seeing. The other thing to do is, as you're laying out or increasing prices, change the way your menu lays out items on your menu. So, a lot of people simply go down the list and, item number 1 price, item number 2 price. If you lay it out that way, you're kind of highlighting when you take a price increase. If you change the layout periodically, so people have to kind of look through your menu and like relearn it, less likely they're going to see price increases so obvious. So, I think there's a bunch of things from how your menu's physically laid out, how much increase you take at one time. Are there opportunities to drop a price here and there so that you're just not so obvious and in your face with it, with your customers. I've seen companies come in and go, we got to take a price increase, and they do across the board 10% price increase. And the first thing that happens, sales go up, but customer count goes down. And within a year, they're doing 20% less than what they were doing because they were obnoxious about it with their customers. You have to have a long-term strategy to keep up with inflation.
Right.
You have to have a long-term strategy. Inflation last year was 9.6% for food service products. Most restaurants, if they simply absorbed 9.6% last year, they're out of business today. They had no choice.
Right.
And, we've prior to this whole COVID situation, we were blessed with pretty flat inflation for a number of years and fairly flat product costs. That's changing. Consumers see it at the grocery store. They have to get accustomed to it in restaurants too if they want to continue to have restaurants to go eat at or order food from.
If you're a restaurant owner, hopefully you have that strategy, or you learn that strategy on how to raise your prices, and you have control over that as an individual restaurateur. But take somebody like Terry Lena or Dave McAllister, who have a product that they sell that they're governed by the manufacturing. They don't make the prices. So this article sort of could be helpful to them, like you said at the very beginning. Like Terry, if a shirt now is $10 and it goes up to $15, she has to justify that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hear you, Terry. I don't know what happened. I heard us. Try it again. Well, you're on mute.
She's still muted.
No, you're still on mute.
Terry, you're on mute, hon.
So Howard, if I can on that score, there's a couple things out there that I'm sure we've all heard. Okay, one of them was the cost of importing products from China or Asia, for example. Cost of a container used to be, I think it was $2,000 to get a container across the ocean. Now it's $22,000.
Right.
Or it had gotten up as high as $22,000.
I heard that came down.
It's coming down. I don't think it's back where it was pre-COVID. So, you have the cost of moving products, logistic cost. And then the second thing is, although it's easing up, you still have the whole supply chain issue out there. Okay. We've talked to clients about equipment, and, and John Marinack might be able to, jump in on that, but we worked for one client and they needed some big refrigeration units, and we almost got laughed out the room. They're like, you know, they should order those 9 months ago. It's going to be a year to get something like that in. So in the manufacturing world, you know, whether it's clothes or furniture, whatever, you know, the number one rationales, the top two rationales I'm hearing are, you know, cost of moving product and supply chain.
John McCabe, who just left the meeting, and John Marinak, they're very closely familiar with the rise in prices of equipment, because there are companies that were raising their prices 2 and 3 times a year. Right, John?
Yeah, we've seen close to 70% increases in some areas.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of restaurants that have increased their costs because of that. You know, and some of them have they've actually stopped their openings because of it. They started to open up a restaurant, and then all of a sudden they realized their costs were just too high to open. But you've got to realize that there's a difference between tangible and intangible services and products and things like that. And that's what you're really marketing. And so when you get into those types of things, that's what's going to, that's what you, if you're trying, like if I were to go ahead and try to increase my prices and go out there and just increase a price because of a service, if I can't relate it to something, then people are going to go ahead and say that it's just like something I'm making up out of the sky. So you have to have it related to something. You have to be able to make it tangible, something that they can relate to. So the same thing with restaurants. If you try to go ahead and you relate it to the plate itself, it's one thing. But if you're a service related restaurant, something on a high end scale, then you have a harder time raising those prices if your service is not good. So even though you might have an expensive product, you have a harder time if your service is not good, if you're a high end restaurant. If people just don't relate it.
Yeah.
I'd
like to-
you know, John, I forget that sometimes, you know, the background I had, you know, we spent a lot of time talking about in this networking group, but, you know, and Kevin, my other partner, you know, we both come from backgrounds where culture, hire the right people, train them, were the backbone of what we did. So, you know, in my mind, unfortunately, you know, service better be a given. You know, you're wasting your time talking about anything else if you don't know how to take care of your customers. So I forget that sometimes. Thanks for adding that to the conversation. But there's a lot of restaurants that shortchange training, and they just expect people to come in and, oh, they got waiter experience, great. Here's our menu. Here's the cash register. Good luck.
Have at it.
And it's not good. That's not effective. They have too much turnover. They don't treat their people like all the stuff we've talked about before. All of those, in my mind, as a former CEO, those have to be givens. That's like your foundational work to talk about product quality and value and pricing on your menu or anything else. So anyway, but great points.
Terry's back with us.
Yeah, I'd like to chime in for the workwear. One of the things that we're very good at as a company, anytime there is going to be a price increase, you know, we try and get that out to our distributors as soon as possible. But the other thing that we do, because we work with distributors and, you know, our partners, we always manufacture a good, better, best option. So say you are a tiny restaurant or, you know, a tiny motel, you know, there are good, better, best because you are price sensitive. So that's the other thing that we work at, you know, we work in that too. And then the other thing we do is to provide a good solution. We work and make sure that the distributor that's working with you is a good fit for you. So we're not just a uniform manufacturer. We provide the whole solution from beginning to end. So we always have a type of option that can meet your financial needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I hear all these stories from my friends who are manufacturers reps, and they get notices from the factories a couple of months in advance that the prices are going up. But when it happens every 3 or 4 months, it's tough to keep on top of it.
Right.
It's hard to justify it.
And it was, I'll be honest, it was like that for a while with cotton. And now we just took a price increase, and we did not increase anything that was in our red cap line because we wanted to be able to, keep that pricing where it was, because we knew who was purchasing that type of product. Our other lines were our flame resistant line and our chemical lines. Well, we had to take a price increase because there was price increases from everyone, from the mills, from, everything that goes into a flame resistant. So, and we are known too, that if there is say cotton for some reason went like down, we would adjust the pricing and work with our distributor base. So there's a lot that we try to do as a company to consider. We're not like other manufacturers, like not only the end user, but our distributor partners. We value that relationship. So we work with them on pricing. Like, we always review that.
Yeah, so based on this conversation, I'm giving notice. We're raising our prices. Kidding. Terry just had
I just paid for mine yesterday. I think I'm good. I made it.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think I did. So
I think you did.
Yeah. I hope I did, because I think I was going to add that to my expense report. So.
Do not worry.
I see there are 2 numbers on the board that I think I know one. Is Kevin, are you back on?
I am.
Okay. Just want
I'm
to make
driving
sure.
to an appointment, so I had to get off the visual side of things.
Okay, and there's another, I don't recognize.
Tony.
Tony.
Carlos, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Sorry, I was just getting the trucks up for a catering job, so I just jumped on to see.
You missed all the meat of the meeting.
Exactly.
You have to come back next week.
For sure.
Can you have him tell us who he
Tony,
is?
tell us who you are, Tony.
Sure. So my name is Tony Fellows, and I'm the.
Oh, that's Tony Fellows. Hi.
How are you?
Good. I talked to you on the phone, but
We did. Yeah. And I own a business called HipPops Handcrafted Gelato Bars, and we're basically like a premium mobile frozen dessert concept. So we handcraft gelato and sorbet in a really unique way. We do it on a stick rather than in a cup or a cone. And because it's portable, we thought it would be really fun for it to be a portable business as well. I come from the traditional frozen dessert industry, in malls, and I just kind of reimagined, a business that I'm passionate about. And I took out all of the financial and operational inefficiencies of an industry that I love. And I just created what I think is a really fun and profitable business. And I'm just, trying to grow it. So that's what I do.
Yeah, well, there are quite a few people in this group, if not everybody, who could help you out in what you're planning to do.
Well, I appreciate that. And I was always looking for, my business runs me. I don't run my business. So I'm also trying to figure that part out as well. But I was always looking for a networking group. A lot of times they were really, really early in the morning. I had to drive somewhere. And so this kind of like really interests me when we spoke the other day, Howard, because, we could do it on Zoom, and, it's also the industry that I'm involved with, so it made more sense for me.
Yeah, I know Tony for quite a few years.
Yeah, listen, you see how gray I am?
Oh, yeah.
I was 18 years old when I know we always talk about this, but remember my first shop in Crocker Center in Boca Raton?
Yeah.
You sold me all the furniture for my frozen yogurt shop. I was 18 years old then. Now I qualify for AARP.
Don't we all?
Just to date how long we know each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's great that you were able to make it, but I'd love for you to come back next
For
week
sure.
and meet everybody.
Tony,
And,
there was something that was written about the gelato and the ice cream that was put on the stick by the Cornell Quarterly. I believe that was probably about, I want to say about 6-7 months ago. They did it on the I think it's on the frost top, the one that they do the you put the product on the frost top, and then they go ahead and they slice it on it, and then
Yeah.
it goes in the spiral. Is
Yeah,
that
so
the same?
that's a little different concept. That where you do, they're called ice cream rolls. There's quite there's quite a few guys. I have a friend that has because I'm mobile, she has a mobile truck doing that as well. But they basically lay down all the cream and put the toppings, and then they roll them into like little rolls, and then they put them into the cup and throw other toppings on top. With what we do is we just source all our ingredients locally. They're basically like a really high quality Magnum bar, really is what it is. They're really big. They're big and chunky. And, it's funny because I took a lot of my own personal experiences and the things that I like, either in restaurants or the ice cream industry. And I kind of wrapped it all into hip hop. So when you look at like a Haagen-Dazs bar or a Ben & Jerry's bar, they're pretty small. They're like 3-ounce bars. So our bars are like 5.5 ounces finished. They're really big. And I kind of got that from going to the Cheesecake Factory. You spend a little bit more, but you always go home with a doggy bag. And I like to have chunks. I grew up eating Ben & Jerry's, so I like to have chunks. So everything, in our bars, even if you just get a pistachio bar, there'll be lots of chunks of pistachios inside the bar if you don't dip it and put pistachios on top. Big chunks of Nutella and caramelized hazelnuts. If you bite into our Oreo bar, there'll be big chunks of Oreo cookies. So just a premium product. And then we do a lot of catering. So that's like a big part of our business.
So you're doing the bars themselves?
Yeah, I handcraft all the bars in a micro creamery. It's a very small commercial kitchen. And then I have really beautifully wrapped trucks that I import the cases from Italy. And so when you open the window, you get to the spot, you'll see 300 bars like right in front of you. And then it's kind of like Chipotle, right? You'll pick your, sorbet, gelato, or frozen yogurt bar. And then I have 3 kinds of really high quality Belgian chocolate dips. So you can choose between milk, semi-sweet, or white. And then we have like really unique, like 12 or 15 unique toppings. And we don't weigh it. You can have as many toppings as you want. And then at the end, you just end up with like a really premium, bar that's really delicious. And
it's funny because that's exactly what the study was saying. The study was actually saying that those ones with the spirals, that what they were missing is that they were missing that the people were not going, they were not really appealing toward those the spiral type. They were missing the people were actually going back toward the solids, and they were going toward the ones like on the sticks and things like that. And what you're doing with the toppings and everything were what the people were going for. So
yeah, people like to always customize what they like, and the other thing too is in the mobile food industry, like time's really important. So, my ticket times are like 10 seconds. So, when you do that other concept, by the time they figure out their base, and they like, even with nitrogen ice cream, the problem that I always saw is it just takes so long to just put one bowl of ice cream together. By the time, the guest chooses their base and what toppings, and, with us, we make the bars at the creamery. We put them in a beautiful display, so that's very attractive to the public. But then to dip them and put the toppings takes 10 seconds. So you can move like if you're selling and you're vending, you could do a high volume of customers and guests in a short period of time. And so it's kind of like a win-win for the guest and then a win-win for the business owner. So it's a very, very interesting business model. You know, besides that, it's a good, really great product, but their business model is very interesting. And since COVID, it's become more interesting to folks in the food industry because, you know, we had over 100,000 restaurants close up and, you know, during COVID. So, you know, where people thought the mobile food industry or the food truck industry was maybe a little hokey, you know, before, you know, now because there's a lot of flexibility. You know, I think entrepreneurs and restaurateurs, you know, are looking at it a little bit more seriously, if you will, now.
Yeah, the market study showed that it was leaning more toward like students and football games. And they actually pinpointed a high-end area being like Penn State football. Because of the creamery that they have located there, they actually did like a preliminary study in that area, and they actually came up with that would be a primary area for what you're talking about.
Yeah, for years we used to have a contract. We were on campus at UM. So I mean, yeah, I mean Penn State. You know, Penn State's a great. You know, besides having a great ice cream program, you know, that they teach there. But I mean, you know, their football program's amazing, and they bring food trucks out, you know, to a lot of their games and stuff. I know another pizza concept that they have it's a franchise. They have their trucks there as well.
I want to, unfortunately, I have to end the meeting now, but I'll keep the board open if you want to stick around and talk. So for those of you who are watching and want to get in touch with us or would like to come to a meeting, please give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go on our website, trnusa.com. And if you missed this meeting and you wanted to watch it again, you could go to our YouTube page at Today's Restaurant. Give us a like and subscribe to it. We'll see you all next week. Stay safe and have a great weekend.